there's gonna be anybody in here, but I figured I would try this out and see what happens. So I'm trying out this live thing here on YouTube because I wanted to see what would happen. And basically, I'm going to be cleaning up some old pocket knives that I picked up at, I think these were all at antique malls. Um, but basically, they just need some work for, to be cleaned up and everything. And I've got everything that I have here to do that. So I don't know if anybody will tune in or not. Um, it's not like I have a whole lot of like subscribers or anything, but I figured I would try it. Trying to get my laptop up here so I can see comments. Again. All right. So I'm going to be. Hey, Doom Crew. How are you? I guess they pull up on my screen, so I don't need my laptop. Well, that's nice. But anyway, I'm going to start off with this one here, which I believe. I'm going to take this out a little bit here. Which I believe is just an Imperial Barlow with these like synthetic white covers. I'm pretty good. Um, had work today. I got off early, so that was nice. Um, went to an antique mall and found some things. No, I didn't buy any knives. They had a couple knives, but nothing that I felt like going to get somebody to unlock out of the locked cases they have. So I'm gonna start by cleaning this one up. Um, Basically, no spring tension as of now. I don't know if that'll change if I just do something as simple as just put some mineral oil in the pivot here. We'll see if that helps. Not really, at least not yet. So if I work that back and forth a bunch, it might help. But there's other issues with this knife, obviously. Yeah, neither one of these back springs is great. So I'm gonna get some case paste here. I'm gonna try to polish off some of this rust or severe patina, depending on what you want to call it. We're going to try to do this here. So on the back spring here, and just kind of, that is a lot. I might want actual sandpaper for this, which I didn't think about. Should probably grab that as well. I believe this is just one of those shell knives, so I don't really want to go banging on it with a hammer or anything because it's a clipped on shell, I believe. Yeah, it's one of these shell knives. These super cheap knives that Imperial made back in the day that are just clamped together, and they give the illusion of being pinned, or the I guess the covers are technically pinned to a liner, or no, it's all clamped onto the liner. Hey Mike, how are you? It's kind of cool. I can see the chats on my phone. I didn't think that was going to be a thing. Yeah, I need sandpaper for these back springs. So I'm going to stop worrying about that right now. See if I can get the blades cleaned up a little bit. This one's kind of pretty far gone. I don't remember how much I paid for this, like $5 or something. Probably too much. Um, but I don't know. I was already getting knives out of the case, and I got this one, and I saw this one, and I was like, for $5, I'll grab that one too, I guess. Um, so a lot of this is going to be hard to get off of here. So I don't know how much of this we're going to get cleaned up today because I need sandpaper for a lot of this. If I can just get the like major rust off. Yeah, I bought the case paste a while ago. It seems to work pretty good for getting like basic rust off and stuff. But for getting like this hard, like built up like black corrosion off. It doesn't work super well for that. And like these back springs here, if I can get it to focus, are pretty far gone. So I don't know how well that's going to work for that. So far, not very well at all. But I'm trying to see if I can at least get the action a little bit better. So I'm kind of hoping maybe if I just polish off like the tang area and try to like put in more like mineral oil. Hey Warthog, how are you? But I'm hoping that if I polish the tang area here and just keep adding mineral oil, that'll help the action because that's like one of the main things that would be nice to fix. Um, but I don't know. Oh, it's a little bit better. I think it's scraping the liner. Yeah, that's part of the problem. So I don't know if I'm going to get this one where I ideally want it today, but but I don't know. We'll see. See if I can clean up this blade a little bit, maybe. Should stop trying to do it through the camera. It's a little bit more difficult. Look around the phone, and that'll help. Yeah, these are. This knife is pretty far gone. For $5, I figured it was worth trying to save, but I mean, it's not really worth anything because it's just one of these Imperial Barlow. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Oh, I'm getting somewhere. What was that, Warthog? Can I see this? You just reminded me. Oh, you have a repair knife that's been sitting in a can of mineral oil for over a year. Oh man, I bet it's really well lubricated. Um, we are getting somewhere. At least when this blade's open, it wants to close, but not when they're both. Not when this one's closed. So that's interesting. I think I'm gonna put this one aside and not worry about this one too much today because I have some knives that are more like better for what I paid for them, basically. Um, and I'll start with the old timer here. I got this old timer Stockman. I think I paid. Did I pay 20 for this? I might have paid $20 for this, but no like belt sander sharpening on the main blade, which is like one of the main things I look for in these old knives. The sheep's foot, I think the spade blade gets caught on the sheep's foot, so you need to open the sheep's foot first in order to open the spade blade. But this is one of these good old American made old timer knives, and this one's in pretty good shape. Um, but it does need a little bit of cleaning up. I'm not that concerned about like the black corrosion if I can get it. The black corrosion, but like this stuff here, that's the red rust. I'd like to get that off of it, maybe polish it up a little bit, sharpen it. Stuff like that is what I'm trying to do to this one. Look at that live chat here. An old Frank Buster doctor's knife? You're gonna have to do a video on that, Warthog. I don't know what that is. Never heard of it. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna try to get some of this red rust off of here quick. That shouldn't be too hard to do. So it looks like it's pretty loose. Let's try to get this off of here. Okay. I think I got that pretty good. Was it on the other side? There's a little bit on the other side too. Just got the blades a little bit here. But primarily what I'm focusing on. I have no idea. This is my first time doing that. So I don't know if you can or not. I won't be able to click it because I'm in the middle of this. But I have no idea if you can put a link up. See you, Doom Crew. Okay, so I think I got that main blade about where I want it. It's a little bit of built up stuff there, but I'm not that concerned about that necessarily right now. There's some red stuff still there. I try not to knock over the tripod. Let's see if I can get this last little bit of red stuff here on the Tang. All right, that's about what I'm going to worry about with the main blade on this knife. Pretty happy with what I paid for this one, considering the shape that it's in. Okay, we got a little bit down there on the Tang on this one. I gotta try to remember to keep the knife on the camera. All right. Okay. Okay, I might try to clean these up a little bit better some other time. Oh, I gotta leave that one open to get the spade blade open. But I think today I'm pretty much just gonna worry about trying to get loose rust off and then sharpening the knives. Other than that Imperial is pretty far gone, so I'm not gonna worry about sharpening that right now. Okay. Shoot the spade blade quick. In here. You can look at it. Yeah, that's fine, Warthog, if you want to put a link in. I guess it'll be in the comments later. I think you can still comment links. I'm not sure. YouTube's gotten weird over the years, so I'm not sure exactly what you can and can't do. There's some rust there. Gotta try to get that. You can hear the other knives moving around on the table. There's a little bit here on the spine of this blade, so try to get that down a little bit. I think that's pitted a little bit. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about much more on the blades. I'm gonna try to polish up these bolsters and do something about the back spring. And then I guess I will try to sharpen it. See how that goes. Well, that should go well. But I'm just gonna try to get stuff polished up a little bit. I should probably move this phone up a little more. That would make it easier to keep everything on the camera. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think I paid 20 for it, which I didn't think was bad, considering that, like I said, nobody had done the good old belt sander sharpening on it, like a lot of these older knives have. I'm sure you're familiar with. Try to get these bolsters polished a little bit. Okay, I probably want some fresh rag. I'm running out of fresh room on my gross polishing rag here. Yeah, I mean, all it really needs is to be sharpened, but I did want to do something with it. But yeah, I'm always looking for these old old timers for an affordable price. There's people who are trying to sell these for ridiculous prices at antique malls and stuff. Okay, I need to move that knife. It's driving me crazy that it's flopping around on the table. That is much better. Oh, off camera again. All right. Looking pretty good. The bench grinder stone. I don't know if I've seen that. I've definitely seen some knives that have been ruined on a belt sander, because I mean I have some, but I don't even think for when you own a knife for 30 years does it get to the point where you don't have anything left to sharpen. But I'm not entirely sure. But I know that it certainly does look like some knives that I see have been just completely destroyed on a belt sander. Oregon Knife Guy. I'm not sure I'm familiar with your channel. Okay, maybe a little. Well, let's try moving on to a second thing to polish it. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing. Okay, so that's one side. The bolsters are pretty well polished. And now I'll do this side. And then I guess I'll sharpen it. Or at least sharpen it a little bit. I can worry about getting it perfect today because that's not going to happen. Not on camera, I don't think. Should have a more stable table for this. Table's shaking all over the place. So I'm just using like a dining tray table, one of them ones that folds up, if you guys know what that is. That's what I use for all these videos. It's not the most stable platform. It's shaking all over the place. Okay. That one's pretty good. Let's do this last bolster here. And maybe the shield. So you make sure everybody knows it's an old timer. There, yeah, there's the polishing one there. Oh, just broke a tray dining table. Well, I'm gonna try not to break these. These were my grandma's, so I'm gonna try not to break these because I like them a lot. They come in handy considering I don't have a dining room table or anything, so it's nice to have somewhere to set up to eat at or to do this, obviously, which is probably the primary thing that I use them for, honestly. Okay, let's get this shield polished up a little bit here. Oh no, a 24 pack of bottled water. Mine must be a little more sturdy than yours because I've had some kind of heavy stuff on this and it hasn't done that. All right, so I got that all polished up, at least as much as I'm going to worry about today. So let's get sharpened a little bit. I'm going to see if I can back this out a little more. That'll help a little bit, probably. So in order to do this, I've just got my little Work Sharp pocket sharpener here. I like to use this because it's got the set angles and everything as a diamond sharpener. So I'm gonna run it a couple times on this. Get rid of any I should be sharpening the other way. Try to get rid of any big chips or anything, and then move over to the ceramic rod on the other side. To be honest, this blade is pretty good already. So as far as no chips and stuff, sometimes you get these. And the two examples of old knives that you seem to find most often are like the belt sander sharpened ones and the ones that have been used to cut railroad ties or not railroad ties, but railroad tracks, or somebody has tried to cut a railroad track with their pocket knife and it's got big old gouges and stuff out of the blade. I have a old, I think German made Barlow that's like that, where it's just got a big old portion of the blade that's just completely unsharpenable, completely unusable because it's like completely flat. I don't know what somebody did to it, but it's a beautiful knife. I wish I had more like blade to sharpen, and I wish that I was more patient, I guess, because I might be able to sharpen it. But there's not a whole lot of blade left on that knife. That one's not out here today. Okay, that's pretty good for a rough sharpening, anyway. Do I have a piece of paper here? I guess Post-it note. Will that work? Use the Work Sharp field sharpener. I have not used the field sharpener. I did just buy a bench stone sharpener from Work Sharp. It comes with a 17 and a 15 degree guide, So I bought the 20 and 25 degree guides too, and they're coming later. But I do have that. But I have seen the field sharpener. It's quite a bit bigger than this. I like this because it works and it's pretty small. And as you can see, it got that blade pretty sharp. So the main blade's good, at least as good as I'm going to worry about today. Normally, I would get it a little bit more fine so that I can like shave my arm hair with it, but I'm not worried about that right now. So let's get this sheep's foot. Honestly, none of these blades are really that dull. I really do think I got a pretty good deal on this for $20. So I'm just gonna run it a couple times on this diamond stone side here. By the way, don't take me as like a sharpening guide or anything because I don't know what I'm doing. At least not really, not like those like professional sharpening guys. But yeah, I know enough to get a knife sharp, and that's all I need to know, really. Okay, how's that feel? You don't want bald arms anyway. Well, I got patches. I got patches because that's kind of how I test if my knives are sharp or not, as I shave off arm hair. All right, let's see where that sheep's foot is. Oh, yeah, that's good. All right, let's get out this spade blade here. And let's get this one touched up. I think the tip on this one's messed up. So I may not. Yeah, it's kind of rolled over there. It looks like. Focus. Focus. It's not focusing. Okay. The tip on it's kind of rounded off, so I'm probably not going to get that part very sharp just because I don't want to spend forever doing this. But I'm just trying to put, basically just trying to put cutting edges on these blades. This is, doing a spade blade is kind of hard. I knew there was a reason I don't like spade blades. You're doing, oh, with sharpening. Yeah. Till I get to the spade blade. And I have issues. This is why I like spade blades that are more like drop points. Because they don't have this like rounded off like part that is really hard to get, kind of. Maybe if I had a big like bench stone, might be easier to get. But I don't really like spade blades. I'm not gonna worry about it that much. Okay, do on the ceramic side here. And that feels like it should be pretty good. Yeah, this knife was not very dull, if I'm honest. So everything except for that like tip part that's kind of messed up is pretty sharp. Up here, it's not hardly sharp at all. But I'm not gonna worry about that right now. But in the rest of the knife, the part that I would actually use is pretty sharp. So I'm gonna call this done for today on the Old Timer Stockman here. Um, yeah, pretty happy with that knife for $20. I knew it would clean up really well because, well, it wasn't really that bad. See, Mike, this knife, I don't even know what this is. I just saw it in a like junk pile of knives, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Um, but it doesn't have any tang stamps or anything. No tang stamp on the main blade. I don't believe there's a tang stamp on the pen blade either. Yeah, no tang stamp on either of the blades. So I don't know who made this, but that main blade really snaps open and closed. So I don't know who made it, but whoever made it pretty well. It's got these like black, some sort of black synthetic, maybe even celluloid, although I think celluloid's normally more decorative, but it has shrank, which makes me think it could be celluloid. But I think Delrin can shrink too. Yeah, it has very good walk and talk. But I don't know who made it. But I picked it up for like, I don't know, $2 or $3. So I'm pretty happy with it for that. Doesn't really need a whole lot. I'll probably just try to get any loose rust off of it. Does it have blade play? I think this one does have a little bit of blade play. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I know it seems to be made pretty well considering it has a little bit of blade play, but it is an old knife after all, and I can fix that. I don't know if I'm going to worry about that right now, but I can fix the blade play. Is there any really loose rust that I see? This might really become more of just a sharpening video. Well, there's a lot of black corrosion, but I don't think there's a whole lot of rust on it. It's a little bit near the tip there. Maybe I'll try to get that off. Yeah, there's some on that side too. So I'll try to get that off. But other than that, I don't really see a whole lot of rust on it. So let's do that. I'm not super worried about the black corrosion because that stuff's a lot harder to get off, obviously. And that stuff doesn't really bother me because that's just, staining and patina and everything. Um, Stuff that I like, kind of. Like on most knives. That's why I like carbon steel so much, because it does that. But yeah, try to get this loose rust off so it doesn't progress any further. And I know eventually the black stuff can ruin a knife too, but it's certainly not as vicious as the red and brown rust. So I'm not worried about the black corrosion right now. Just try to get the easy to get off loose red and brown rust off because that stuff's easy to deal with compared to the rest of it. Yeah, I've had these. Well, I've had this and the old timer for a little while, but I'd been waiting to do something with them to do a video on. I thought I was just gonna do a video showing them off, but I figured this would be a good opportunity to try the YouTube live feature, and I don't know how this will go. Um, I don't know as far as people watching it after how it'll go or whatever, but it is certainly an interesting thing to try out. So now that I did that, I'm basically just gonna try to polish up these bolsters a little bit here, and that shield, which I'm assuming is just glued in, but I didn't check. Because if it was pinned, that would be crazy. But yeah, let me just try to get some of this here. Bolsters is polished up a little bit. Basically, I'm not super worried about everything looking perfect or anything because it's not going to. But just trying to get it polished up a little bit, basically. Okay, I guess I'll do this side. Just kind of polish the bolsters a little bit. Could try to polish the covers, but I don't know what they are and if they would polish well, and they're all scuffed up and stuff anyway, so not much is going to happen from that. But the bolsters I can get polished up a little bit here. So I'm pretty happy with that for now. I think most of this is just kind of looks kind of cool in the back springs like that, honestly, with all the like weird corrosion lines on the back spring there. It's kind of interesting. But I think I'm basically just going to sharpen. Well, let me put some mineral oil in this. That might help a little bit. Well, it already has some good action, but that might make it even better. Let's put some mineral oil in that. So I'm going to close it a couple of times here. Some little pen blade here. It helped the pen blade, seems like. So that's good. Surprisingly, not a whole lot of gunk came out of that. Surprised about that. All right, let's go ahead and sharpen these blades. But once again, this knife is pretty sharp already. There's a couple of little divots in it. Yeah, the action on it's really good. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who made it, but they seem to have made it pretty well. fact that after all these years, it still has such a good action and everything. Um, and as you saw from the Imperial earlier, it didn't have like hardly any action at all because it was all gummed up by rust and probably all sorts of stuff, pocket lint, all sorts of stuff over the years. Now this knife does have a little bit of blade play. I don't think I'm going to worry about that today. Just basically going to get it sharp. This blade is very thin too. That is also interesting. Yeah, very thin and flexible blade. So I don't know who made this, but it's actually a pretty nice little pocket knife. Now, am I ever going to carry it? Probably not, but I thought it was neat for the couple bucks that it cost me. That's probably pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's done for that. The pen blade, I think, has a pretty substantial nick out of it. I don't know if I can get it to focus, but yeah, I thought I had trouble focusing before. You can see it there. It's got a nick near the tip there. That probably isn't going to be remedied today because, I'm not trying to be on here forever. I just figured I would try out the live feature, maybe talk with you guys a little bit, and try to clean up these knives a little bit. Give me an excuse to do so. I am probably going to be filming a video. I bought a Camillus rope knife, and I'm going to clean that up at some point. And the video on that comes out on, I think, February 6th. So I did do a video on that knife, and I'm probably going to do a video cleaning it up. That'll come out after that video on the knife comes out. At least that's my plan right now. Of course, plans can change, but we'll see. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get that bad nick out of the blade there, but I'm going to try. But yeah, if you're looking, or if anybody you know is looking for just a really simple, easy way to sharpen a knife, I really like this Work Sharp pocket sharpener. Definitely some hardened steel there. You think? I have no idea. The well, yeah, I guess if it wasn't hardened, it would have bent like really bad, huh? So I guess it's hardened to some degree. I'm just really curious as to who made this knife and then didn't put their name on the tang stamp, because that's unusual. Normally, the knives that don't have names on the tang stamps are awful. But I do have another knife that is like a Stockman or something similar to a Stockman anyway, and doesn't have a name on it either. So I guess it did happen that fairly nice knives sometimes didn't get tang stamps, which is interesting to me. Okay, that's sharp enough. Not worried about getting that much sharper. This last one, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to clean it up because it's rough. But I paid $8 for this at an antique mall, and that's pretty good considering the tang stamp right there. This is a Case Barlow. I don't know from when. I don't have my Case date card anymore. Maybe one of you can tell me. But the action on this knife is completely gone, pretty much. I don't know if any degree of cleaning it up is going to get that back. The bolster here has got all sorts of pits out of it. Look at the back springs, got pits out of it. This sat in somebody's pocket and they sweated on it for years, or it sat somewhere where there was a lot of moisture, because it is really badly pitted. Somebody didn't take care of this. I think the pen blade's actually pretty good on it, which is funny. Yeah, pen blade's a lot better than the main blade, but I don't know if any degree of cleaning this up is going to help the action. It's case tested with 2X's. I don't know if that helps. Like I said, I got rid of my case. Well, I didn't get rid of it. I lost it. But there's the tang stamp. I don't know if one of you will be able to help me with that or not. But I paid $8 for this, so I was pretty happy to pay $8 for a Case Barlow that still has quite a bit of blade, but I mean the action is pretty much non-existent. But I like having a case, an old case in my Barlow collection, so I didn't mind paying the um, the thing for it, the $8 for it. The Spyderco ceramic, what was that? You had Warthog, the Spyderco ceramic pocket sharpener. Was that one like a rod or something? Um, yeah, the Work Sharp one I'm pretty happy with. It's a little big for like an actual pocket sharpener, but it's definitely good. Like if you want to just throw it in a bag or something, or do what I do and just throw it in a drawer. And I use it as like a primary sharpener. Diamond part's really nice to have. This is another knife that honestly it's pretty sharp. Somebody sharpened this on a whetstone. It looks like, if I had to guess, and cleaned it with steel wool and sandpaper and all that old, old timey stuff with pocket knives. Um, oh, really? Okay, yeah, I feel a lot better about the $8. I mean, I felt good about the $8 anyway, but that's cool to know. So 1920 to 1940 says Oregon Knife Guy. I'm gonna have to check out Oregon Knife Guy's channel. I'm not sure I'm familiar with it. Anyway, I'm gonna just put some mineral oil in there and see what that does. It's not going to work miracles. Oh, actually, maybe it will work miracles. Snapping closed. It's not snapping open. I didn't expect it to fix it, but figure it'll get some of that loose rust out of there, probably. I mean, I would just like to try to kind of preserve this knife the way it is. We're getting there. Just working the blade, it's getting better. That's nice. It's flat, maybe 5 inches long, 2 inches wide. 603,000 grit. With the 3,000 grit, you can't get it, or the 603,000 grit don't work well for you. I think the Work Sharp bench stone that I got's like, what is it, 1,000 and then 6,000 or something? I haven't tried using that yet. I don't have the what I would consider to be the correct angle guides for it yet. But the little Work Sharp pocket sharpener I have there works really well. And for years, let me see if I can get this without knocking everything over here. For years, ever since I was a little boy, and my dad left. I've had this because this used to be his. Um, it's just a wooden block with these ceramic rods in it that are set in an angle. And this is what I typically just touch up blades on all the time. I still use this like pretty much every day just to, hone blades and everything. But when you need to really sharpen, this is nice to have because of the diamond side. And this is a little bit more coarse diamond or ceramic rod than what these are. But this is what I typically use just to touch up a blade. And I've had that for, I don't even know how long. I've had that since I've started like regularly buying knives and stuff. The workshop, which is that the one with the stone or the one with the diamond? Because I bought the one with the stone. That's what I'm talking about. Where did I? Oh, case is right here. I got sidetracked with the ceramic rods. This is working pretty well, honestly. Just putting some mineral oil in there. Wow, the pen blades are really good now. That's funny. Yeah, this knife's a little rough, but for that tang stamp that says case on it, I didn't think $8 was bad. Try the field sharpener. Yeah, I know, and it's got a strap on it too, doesn't it? It's got like a strap thing with compound already in it. Is that the field sharpener? I believe that's the field sharpener. I was thinking about getting one at some point, but I instead got the bench stone sharpener one because I thought it would be better for just a at home thing. Because typically I'm not really sharpening. Okay. Yeah, mine was, I think, 40, 30. Is it 30? I think it might have been 30, but then I paid another $10 for some angle guides that are the 20 and 25 degree, which is what I think I probably want for most pocket knives because it comes with the 15 and 17 degrees. 17 degree might work, but the 15 is going to be too low of an angle. Yeah, too low of an angle for most pocket knives. So I've got the 20 and 25 degree guides coming. So once I get those, then I'll probably start using it. I was going to try to use it on a cheaper knife to try to see what it did at the 17 degree sharpener, but I haven't done that yet. I did this instead, but I was going to try to use it on this Roper knife and see what was going to happen with the 17 degree. But anyway, this case, I mean, obviously I can't do anything about the pitting. That's just, something that has to stay there. And to be honest, I probably shouldn't be polishing up a knife using case paste from the 20s and 40s because, they say that, like, polishing stuff up and stuff like this actually helps lose value, but I paid $8 for this, so I don't care. The Spyderco sharpener is in a leather slip to strap with. Okay. See you, Oregon knife guy. And you don't like the Spyderco pocket sharpener, Warthog? It doesn't work well for you? I like the Work Sharp thing just specifically because it has the angle guides, because there are days where I cannot hold an angle on a stone or anything. So it's nice to have the guides for that. Um, at least I think so. But yeah, this $8 case is turning out to be pretty nice. I bought this because I figured it would make a great addition to my Barlow collection, having a old case Barlow in there, along with some of the other older Barlow. On what? What did you try to do a 14-degree reprofile on? Because if you're trying to do that on a traditional knife, I'm not sure how that would turn out. A lot of them have a little bit thicker like blades, but I mean the one that the work sharp thing that I bought, I think was supposed to be for kitchen knives. The sharpener works great on softer steels. Softer steels are sometimes nice when you're trying to sharpen. You start to sharpen like you used to sharpen 1095 or 440 or something, 420, and then you get something in like M390, and it's like, oh man, I forgot how much I hate sharpening these super steels. So they take forever, especially just if you're doing what I'm doing and you're just trying to basically polish that edge on a ceramic rod to make it sharp again, because that's the easiest way for me to do it. Um, a lot of crud in this area here, as you might expect. Worked out it was a fixed blade. Was it for like the kitchen, or were you using it for something? Because I wouldn't imagine you'd want a 14 degree on like an outdoors knife. That seems like it would be really easy to roll that edge. But on a kitchen knife, I could see it. I might try to sharpen my old hickory kitchen knife on that before I get the new guides for it, because it would probably be good for that. I just don't want to try to sharpen any of these traditional pocket knives on it, because I feel like that's probably too thin of an edge and probably cause issues for me. But anyway, getting this knife nice and cleaned up. I'm getting pretty happy with it. I'm probably not going to do too much more. I could maybe clean up the blade a little bit. I don't know. I'm not going to get a lot of these scratches off of here just because that's just the way it is. What's this pen blade look like? Is there rust on this?
There's a little bit back here. Okay, I might clean that up a little bit. So on a kitchen knife, I feel like it would work pretty well. What kind of kitchen knife was it? Just a basic kitchen knife, or was it something like special? 'Cause I like my old hickory kitchen knife. I like that a lot. I did buy a cheap kitchen knife at a thrift store recently, and I'm gonna try to get that one as stupidly sharp as I can as a little side project because I think that'll be funny to take a knife that I paid $1.75 for and make it as sharp as I possibly can because I think that would be cool. So I'm gonna try to do that, see how that goes. Um, but I bought it with the sole intention of doing that because it's a bigger kitchen knife and I could use a bigger kitchen knife. Russell Greenworks. They're not related to the old Russell Cutlery Company, are they? Because I'm always looking at their Barlows, as I'm sure you can imagine. Haven't decided to buy one yet because they go for ridiculous prices. But the old Russell that was out of, I think it was out of Sullivan. But my last name's Russell, so I always want one of them Russell Barlows because it would be cool to have my last name on a Tang stamp. Even though obviously I'm not related to the people, but it would be cool. Slicer with a Bowie tip. Interesting. What do you use that for? Just general kitchen cutting? Okay, so I think I got most of the rust that was starting or that was started out of the pits there. So hopefully the pits won't get any worse. Obviously, it's not going to get much better than this. But um, yeah, so I guess I'll just go ahead and sharpen this. I'm pretty happy with how the action came out, honestly. Just some mineral oil and some little bit of moving it back and forth. The action actually came out pretty good. Obviously, I think it probably would have been better than this when the knife um, first came out, but that pitting right there, that's pretty substantial. I'm hoping that this isn't deep enough to actually like damage the back spring or anything, because that would really suck. But I mean, that back spring doesn't seem strong enough right now that I would think it would snap. But who knows? But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen this, and then I think I'll probably get off of here. Um, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just try to get this knife sharp here. I just saw somebody commented, what was that? Yeah, pretty much all cutting, and then I have a sturdy chopper, like a cleaver for chopping, or do you have something else for chopping? I'm not big into kitchen knives. Um, I have my old hickory kitchen knife, and that's the only kitchen knife I have because generally when I'm doing stuff in the kitchen, I'm just grabbing the knife out of my pocket to do whatever I'm doing because that's how I live my life. But but it is nice to have a knife in the kitchen. Feels pretty good. It's got a little couple little catches on it, but it's certainly sharp enough to actually use. This knife's not going to be used, not going to be put in a pocket or anything. This is going to sit in a plastic container with the other old Barlows that I have that I don't carry because I don't want to damage them or lose them or anything. They're just a part of my Barlow collection because I like Barlows. Someday I want to be like Charlie Companion and have a whole bunch of cases full of Barlows because I think that'd be cool. But that'll probably never happen because that man has a insane Barlow collection. But let's try to get this nice and sharp here because it might as well be sharp if it's gonna sit in a case all the time. One of these Japanese chopper thingies. Okay, I gotta run. Okay, see you, Warthog. All right. So this case Barlow, pretty well touched up. Pretty happy with it. Definitely happy with how much better. All right, yeah, that sounds good. I'll look for your video on them. Definitely improved the action on that main blade quite a lot. And according to Oregon Knife Guy, this was somewhere between the 1920s and 1940s. And I do like how back then they just took whatever bone they could get and did their saw cut thing to it, and that was just the way it was. It is interesting that this is the show side though, because I think this side looks better, but it's pretty cool. Um, Definitely happy with this knife for $8, especially now that I got it to the point where the action's actually pretty good on it. But I'm pretty much just going to cover this in some mineral oil and put it away. But anyway, I've been going on for almost an hour, so I'm going to end this if I can figure out how to do that. And I will see you guys in the next video. And I hope you guys have a good day. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this here. How do I end live? What's that? Pictures. I don't know how to do this. If I just do that, does that end? Okay. All right. See you guys in the next video. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here.